All right, hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here kicking off the doubleheader for tonight with some Rocket League. Lebanon Valley will be taking on Michigan State B. This Michigan State B roster, I believe, has played Team 2 the past couple of years, so I'm personally a bit familiar with a couple of their players. I have seen a couple of their names beforehand, but outside of that, I don't know a ton. Outside of they are currently sitting at 3-0, but to put it lightly, that is the easiest part of their schedule that they did get through these past few weeks. So we'll see what happens when they start getting into the tougher teams within this division. And it's not a knock to anyone in this Varsity Plus East 2 division. It's not really supposed to be the most rigorous division of all time. So there is that to note as well. But just real quick, looking over the stats, or I should say the matches from the side of Michigan State B. They've taken down OTC 3-1. They took down NSU 3-1, which that's Nova Southeastern, by the way, for NSU. They have not played LVC just yet. Obviously, this was scheduled for next week, and then they moved it to today. Earlier today, this was actually told to me at 2 p.m. that this match was being played. This was scheduled for next week. This is supposed to be the week 3 match, and unfortunately for me, not unfortunately for the players, they're playing it a week early. And then they got their free win over KSU, Kennesaw State, because Kennesaw State dropped out before the season. So technically they're 2-0, but they're realistically 3-0. They actually hold the top spot in the table, but just looking at the rest of their schedule, that's not going to hold up. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be mean there. That's just how it's going to be. I'm looking at Huskies. I'm looking at OC, Bravo, and those two teams by themselves are probably the best in this entire division. So those are two teams I'd be looking to beat out this Michigan State team, at least at the moment. They also have Southern Miss, but I don't know a single thing about that roster. And according to my contact over at Southern Miss, that's like their third team, so I don't really know what to expect from that as well. But of course, that's if you're in this chat, you're probably not even here for them. I mean, there's a chance. I don't have chat pulled up, but you're likely not here for them. So let's look at Lebanon Valley here, as they have just come back from the Virginia Wesleyan LAN, the Collision on the Coast 2, or the second rendition of the Collision on the Coast event. One very fun event, really good time meeting all the players and stuff out there. Very much enjoyed my time over at Virginia Wesleyan. Great hosts over there. So big shout out to them. But LVC coming off a 5th, 6th placement from that event. They placed 5th, 6th with ODU. The two teams that they had lost to were LCU, who were the tournament favorites. They have 3 top 100 players, and the fact that they showed up to the event was actually kind of surprising. Even to the hosts, actually, they didn't even know that they were going to show up because they just kind of randomly made their way into it. But the other team that they had lost to was George Mason University, another very solid squad that has a lot of potential, especially later in the season as we continue to go on. That GMU squad did take down Lebanon Valley twice in the event, not 3 times. LCU would have taken down LVC 3 times if they would have played them 3 times, but they end up losing to GMU twice, and the first one came in the start of the bracket, where in the first round LVC played GMU, lost 3-0 there. Then in the losers bracket, a bit further into Sunday, they ended up falling there to GMU as well in game 5, where it was actually almost a reverse sweep, and they didn't quite pull it off, but I saw some really good gameplay out of the team. They looked incredible in that GMU series, so we'll see if they can continue bringing that style of play here. And another series I wanted to point out was their series just before the second George Mason game that ended their run at the event, and that's the series in the losers bracket against UNH, and that was a very close series. Every game, the first 2 games were decided by 1 goal. Actually, the first 3 games were decided by 1 goal or less. And I said or less. You can't have or less. It was decided by 1 goal. And the third or fourth game, where LVC closed out the series in a 3-1, was like 3-1 or something like that. But I'll also point it out myself. Marty was having issues towards the end of the game 4, so he stopped playing for a bit there, and that's a whole nother ordeal for another day. But regardless, LVC looked very strong in that series. But the main concern I had was on the side of their defense, where they were kind of struggling to really get out of their own half, and we'll see what they were able to do. So though, coming into this one, I'm a bit interested to see how this Michigan State team performs. Again, I mentioned they're currently sitting at the top of the table at 3-0, but Two of the two matches that they have played weren't of the greatest quality, so we'll have to find out how they go up from here, and if they can take down a squad like Lebanon Valley, especially with how big of a performance they had on LAN and how much it really meant to this team. So we'll have to observe that as we go through the rest of this series. The players are now joining the lobby, so let's head on over there as we can start our series. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 1, LVC, Michigan State B. We'll see what goes down in the NACE Varsity Plus East 2 division, as we saw, I believe that was tempoed, sent it over to that LVC half, and we're seeing Michigan State continue to try and put pressure on, but they're a bit slow to the ball, and that's going to be a free one for Samus. And you're going to notice no cams popping up. The players from Lebanon Valley are not in studio today, so unfortunately we will not have their cams or their presence here in our arena. But of course, still making an impact. You see Samus getting the first goal of the series and just manages to poke that one away from Michigan State. And they got to be a bit careful. Those aerials, as they're going a bit slow. LVC has been playing some very, very high-paced teams, so they're certainly looking to go for that sort of play style. As a double isn't there. Shot on target, actually not. Hits the top crossbar, so LVC will maintain their 1-0 lead. As Brandini looking for the wall there, doesn't get to it fast enough. I mean, Tempo having to pick it up, and he's going to be a bit off on that touch. And you also see Frenchie already fairly far in the air for that one as well. Samus going across to the right wall. But again, LVC looking a bit rusty right now. I'm seeing maybe a couple overcommits, a couple bad touches, but outside of that, Lebanon Valley still have that 1-0 lead, and never mind, Tempo gonna dash in. You saw that get stuck right in front of the LVC net. Looked like it certainly had to be a goal, and eventually it was. But Shetz does not get any power on that clear, and that's what's gonna lead to the goal from the side of Michigan State. But Samus now has a one-on-one after this kickoff. Gets a good 50 up as well. Frenchie should be able to get there to shoot. Actually looks for the double, but Brandini gonna read that one off the wall. And I'm a bit surprised Frenchie didn't just go for a shot there. He had an open net, just didn't take it. And now again, Michigan State putting on the pressure, and that shot's inside the net, but Samus with an incredible save. Over the weekend, we definitely saw a lot of those over at the LAN. And Samus was the man behind it all. As now he's looking to pass to Bichette, but there's again no power. It's not looking like there's a lot of power on any of these touches from Lebanon Valley, and that's a bit scary if you are a fan here. But now you're starting to see that passing game open up. That's a really good pass from Frenchie, but Bichette just isn't in the position for it. Found the last possible spot within that window. So now Frenchie will have to go for what realistically is a save, although the game won't count that one. LVC look a bit slow right now. Maybe we'd like to see them up their pace and really just put on the show. It's a double whiff from LVC, and I'm not really sure what's going on. I've never seen them whiff this often. Off the backboard, Bichette's looking for someone to the right side. That's going to be Frenchie down to Samus. There's the passing game. There's the goal. And that's more of what you'd expect from LVC. As you can see, as Frenchie finds the open man right in the midfield, and there's just no way Michigan State can stop all of that pressure constantly back and forth. As a couple demos come in for Lebanon Valley, that might just be an open net, and it is. The double demo, too powerful. That's going to give LVC their third. 2:27 left in game number 1. You can see Tempo was just rotating for boost, and all of a sudden his teammates are dead. The ball is rolling into their own net, and there's not a single thing he could do. Samus looks for a dribble over to the midfield once again, but doesn't get there. Pass met by Frenchie. Bichette's now sending it back to that blue half. He's actually going to look to shoot, but he ran out of boost there, so didn't really get a good opportunity to. As Frenchie again just launching one at the Michigan State net. Tempo does get the save, but now LVC has a wide open one. Is Frenchie going to steal that one from Bichette's? 4-1 scoreline. And I'm more than confident in saying that that was definitely a goal. Frenchie didn't get a touch, but either way, ends up being a goal for the Dutchman. Spartans in a very, very tough spot here. Samus misses the demo though. Silent has a chance and he just does Frenchie dirty there. 4-2 scoreline. They're still down by 2, but that's a good play from Silent. Gets Frenchie to jump and let that one roll into the back of the Lebanon Valley net. Just 1:55 on the clock. Michigan State do have a chance here in this game, but they're going to have to start upping the pace. They look a bit sluggish right now. LVC are just currently outpacing them. Seeing that they have tempo on their team, they should be looking to upset tempo and find a way to get more possession in that Lebanon Valley half, and they have not been controlling the ball a lot either. We haven't really seen a lot of play on their end in that manner. It feels like very individualized play at the moment, and that's just not going to work against a team as sound as Lebanon Valley, as that's a good pass there, and that's exactly what I was talking about. Samus does get the save, but now you've found more openings. LVC, though, looking to counter. Samus gets 50, good 50 from tempo. Now a pass, though, again down from LVC. Shot doesn't go, so now Michigan State can go for the counter. Tempo gets it downfield to Silent, but Bichette was there for a second. Tempo, though, will find the net. That's a good demo from Samus, but ultimately it comes down to Bichette, who doesn't get a touch whatsoever there, and that's going to be Tempo finding the back of the Lebanon Valley net. 3-4, and Michigan State B are still in this. Just 1 minute remaining. Can LVC hold on? Will we see Michigan State JV complete the comeback? They do need to score one more goal to at least get the OT, but they'll need 2 if they want to win in regulation. Brandini looking to carry this one out. Does at least get a second touchdown field. And again, Bichette. I was told he was feeling really good today, and I'm seeing quite the opposite right now. So maybe they need him to step up. That's a third whiff from Bichette in the same play. Frenchie saves him from that going into the back of the net again, but Bichette needs to step things up. He is currently whipping at an astronomical rate. 50 there. Bichette does get a good one, so he'll finally keep it out of his own net. But Tempo looking to send this one. The Reaper of LVC these past few weeks has been the 0-second goal, so certainly you're going to see them look to put this ball down to the ground as quickly as they possibly can. Bichette flies in there, at least gets a strong 50, and that's going to be likely all LVC needs. Frenchie sending it down. Does Brandini get to it? No. Lebanon Valley will cling on in game number 1. As you can see the stats here, a very close one towards the end, but ultimately it will be Lebanon Valley that get the job done. And even looking in that demos category, I'm already seeing a big disparity. 4 demos from Samus, 2 from Frenchie, 1 from Bichette, and you're seeing only 2 in total from the side of Michigan State JV, and that likely is a big problem if you are the side of Michigan State. Also, we're seeing the assist column again continue to fill out for the side of Lebanon Valley. That has been their bread and butter all year long, and those assists are what's going to continue to carry them all the way through this season. And I think if they can keep up the assist game, the passing game is very integral to their play style. And if they can keep that pressure up through the passing game, through the assist game, then they will be very, very successful as we continue through this series. But we are now heading into game number 2. We'll see if Michigan State has adjusted. Did look like they were taking their time there in the waiting screen, so certainly have talked about something, but almost got done dirty by Samus. Carried it past 1, almost carried it through the second. But ultimately, it will be Michigan State with pressure. That's a good turn from Silent. Actually, it doesn't even need it. Tempo, though, misses the open net, but it will be cleaned up. Brandini. That could have been a very disastrous one for Michigan State, but ultimately it will not matter. Tempo was a bit awkward there. May have been expecting that ball to be actually moving, and it just wasn't off the backboard. Michigan State will get on the board very quickly here. We're seeing Silent. Actually, Bichette gets a minor touch there, and that's all they really need, as LVC can now start forcing their way down to that blue half. Brandini looking for a reset, but it goes really slow, so Frenchie contests. But the rest of LVC is so far back, they're playing very passive right now, and that allows for another shot to go on target, but it will get saved from Bichette. It's now has a bump, but has the ball too. Finds the open man, and Frenchie does get blocked, though. Brandini, again, trying to carry it out for Michigan State, needs to stop going for resets, especially in that situation. You're not going to really get much out of that one. Bichette now carrying it over, almost got the flick over the second. I believe if he would have gotten that, it would have been a goal. But now to be Samus looking for the double, doesn't get there. Frenchie now in a really awkward position. Bichette now has to just start dashing back, and he at least gets it to that side wall, and that's a very good play from Bichette. Looking to step it up from game number 1. Had a bit of a rough outing. But I feel a lot of the time in many of their series, game number 1 is always a rough outing. Still getting back into the mechanics, getting back into the groove. Michigan State trying to put pressure on, but they just don't really have much control of the ball. We're seeing LVC constantly getting these very controlled touches, and that's going to allow for this pass to go through off the backboard to Samus, actually to Bichette, as they double commit there. Unfortunately for Michigan State, though, they don't really have the boost to just dash this one downfield for a counter, so LVC will actually poke it away, looking for a shot on target, and Samus flies through, puts one on the board for Lebanon Valley. Frenchie just taking all the time he could, allows Samus to make up the ground and get through. And that'll be a draw now, 2:49 left, and LVC looking to make a statement here in game 2, as Samus just trying to 50 this one into the net, but Bichette actually almost does. I didn't even see that player in the back of the net. That was Brandini getting the epic save there. Of course, that was flying straight into the front of the net. Samus 50 to the corner, and that was something I talked about with Frenchie before. LVC needs to stop keeping the ball in the corner, as that is something that's really gotten them into a lot of trouble over these past few weeks. Keeping that ball into your own corner and not really being able to make a play out of it. Good work from Samus there, forcing the exterior pass from Michigan State. Now can push forward, gets a good 52. That'll allow Frenchie to send it downfield. Silent may accidentally redirect this if he isn't careful, but will be Bichette just taking a shot. No bump in from Frenchie, as now this one will go back to Samus. LVC still controlling a lot of the possession and controlling the ball a lot better than what we're seeing from Michigan State. It just, again, feels like a lot of individualized efforts out from Michigan State. They are still competing, though. They are still very much in this one. It is only 1-1. But they're going to need to find each other as a team if they want to make this work. Bichette's now sending it over to Samus, but can he get there in time? No. And that's a huge 50 for Frenchie. Now takes a shot on target. Yeah, actually, I don't know if that counts as a shot on target, but it looked like it was on target from our distance. Bichette's, though, that is certainly a shot on target. That one will be saved from Brandini. And now LVC have some offense going, looking for the passes. Frenchie, though, again forced to move back, has the ceiling and actually gets the touch off of it. Now Samus looking to dribble it around. Can it get there in time? No, the floater will not fall. That one just sent right at the LVC net. That was actually on target. That could have been a goal. That could have been the goal, but no, it'll be LVC sending a redirect, and that will be an own goal technically, but it would have been a goal regardless. Good pass, good shot. Samus down to Bichette, and that's a missile. And you are not saving that one. That was a great attempt from Silent, but ultimately, you're just not going to save that one. As the demo comes in, now Bichette's last man back, but found the gap in between those players. Now looking for the double. Doesn't get the shot, but Frenchie will. Actually, it gets blocked. Samus now sending it up to Tempo, who goes for the, probably didn't intentionally go for the reset, but had one. This is a double commit, though, for Michigan State. They need to back, one of these players needs to back off. this is stuck in their own corner now too. They're wasting so much time trying to get this away. Good bump onto Samus. Now Silent has a breakaway. Can the demo come through from Brandini as Bichette tries to 50 and Silent will tie it up. 18 seconds remain. And Michigan State have tied it up at the one of the very last seconds. And that is a huge play. Can LVC make something happen? Silent has 0 boost, so just tries for a bit of a fake there. Doesn't really get it. LVC now on the attack. Can they get this pass? They can, but there's no one there to receive the touch off the backboard. 1 second left, 0 on the clock, and it will hit the ground. We have OT, ladies and gentlemen. As look at that though, that's a good 50 out towards mid, but no one in the lobby has boost. Frenchie and Samus can't really do much with that possession. They had a good opportunity, but there's just no boost to capitalize. Brandini kind of just handing that one away. I don't really like that touch, but Silent, I like this one. He has a chance to shoot and will fake out Bichette. And that will be Michigan State taking game number 2. They're looking to make this one a series, and Bichette's not able to take the 1v1 there. And apologies for your eyes there, by the way. That is a very bright screen, and I sincerely apologize. It's just, unfortunately, how their colors work. They are very, very bright. But regardless, we will see what happens here in game number 3 as LVC need to bounce back from that one. That was a rough game 2. This could be the turning point in the series as well. Frenchie tries to take an early advantage. Doesn't quite get it though. As Tempo trying to make that happen. Trying to make the clear happen. Demo onto Samus. So this may... Actually, it's not really a clear for the Michigan State defense. I will say LVC are still looking a bit sluggish right now. Just not quite what we were seeing on LAN just literally like 2 days ago. And even looking at their previous series from the days leading up to the event, they looked a bit more clinical. Bichette's looking for demos on the goal line, but no one will be home. And now there's a chance for a counter. Bichette's last man back. Frenchie, though, does at least read the passing lane, so they'll take advantage of that. Bichette gets a clear downfield, and now Frenchie will be trying to go for that one. It'll be actually 2 Michigan State players bumping into each other. It makes it work out. Silent carrying the ball on top of his car. Gets a slight flick, leaves it for Tempo, and that's a top left banger as Michigan State taking the lead once again. And Bichette gets a backflip there. Frenchie overcommits, and now Samus just gets put in a bad spot. And this is looking worse and worse for Lebanon Valley. This is not the LVC Rocket League team you should be seeing. Bichette will be the one carrying it downfield. Has a couple players right next to him. He'll give it to Samus, but not a lot to work with there. So now Frenchie looking to send it midfield. Gets it down to Bichette, but I believe that was contested. So there's not much he could really do in that situation. Does get another opportunity, and that one is a goal. Bichette's putting LVC on the board here in game 3. And that's exactly what Lebanon Valley needed. A great pass from Samus down to Bichette. Hits the top left corner and banks that one in. So now he has another opportunity. Bichette tries to get it down into that Michigan State net, but will end up getting countered. Tempo has a chance to shoot, but will get saved from Frenchie now. Back to the Michigan State half. Demo comes in onto Bichette from Tempo. Samus tries to capitalize, but no. As now it'll be Silent, just trying to send this one away. Bichette is here. Demo on the goal line. That's an open net for Bichette. I say open, but there's a slight, not quite open there, can see Silent did catch up to him, but either way, it'll be LVC taking the advantage. That's a double demo. And a big bump too. Bichette has another opportunity. Not really, actually. I didn't see Silent spawning up there. Samus gets a touch down, but will be Michigan State that have possession. They have a chance to shoot. That's going to be a shot, but Samus gets back for the save. Now sends it back downfield. Has a one-on-one with Brandini. Will take the advantage there. Now sends it over. Bichette could send this to the midfield. Looks for it onto Frenchie. Looks for the bump. The contest comes in. Brandini can't finish the play. And we're going to see Silent get a whiff. Tempoed whiffs on the ball. Bichette will be the one to send it out for Lebanon Valley. Another scary situation avoided there, but Brandini launching this downfield again. These counters from Michigan State have been pretty solid throughout the night. Silent flies through, doesn't get a touch. Brandini looking for the bump onto Frenchie, leaves it for Tempoed, can't find the top left corner. Now just 2 minutes on the clock. And LVC looking to get to that series point here. Only a 1-goal lead. And we're seeing a lot of opportunity come in for Michigan State, but they haven't really been able to make much out of it. And again, it is coming down to those individual plays. So that's a really good touch from Frenchie. Forces Silent into handing it to Bichette's wide open net. That's another goal. That very well could be the decider here in game number 3. As Bichette just takes advantage of the faster pacing of this Lebanon Valley squad and will get the goal there. Has the open shot and takes every single bit of that one. As again, Michigan State do have it in this LVC half tempo, looking for the double demo on the goal line onto Frenchie, but Brandini was not really in a position to make much of a play on the ball. Now just a minute remaining. LVC looking to close this one out and send it to game 4 with that 2-1 advantage. Here comes Brandini, though that's a 50 right into the net, but Bichette's managing to get back for the save. Now Frenchie just carries it out, has the reset, but doesn't need to use it. Just look for the double out to his teammate. Doesn't end up getting there. Samus, though, gives it out to Bichette, tries to shoot, but didn't really have a lot to work with there. Not much to shoot at when you see that player sitting in the middle of the net. Just a good rotation from Michigan State. Bichette's trying to send this one out wide, but again, nobody home. This will be a 2-1 advantage, though, for Lebanon Valley, as that's another goal from Frenchie. LVC are now cruising here in game number 3 as we get to the end of it. With just 12 seconds on the clock, LVC should be taking a 2-1 lead in the series. Frenchie tries to just go for a bit of a style play there, doesn't end up getting it, but ultimately it won't really matter. It will be Lebanon Valley winning game number 3. Now hold the 2-1 series lead. That was a 4-1 scoreline. As LVC looking to shut down the series here. And you're seeing also a hat trick there from Bichette. Also one in from Frenchie. It's kind of weird seeing Samus without a goal in a game. It feels like he's so very often the man putting every single goal into the net for Lebanon Valley. You're seeing a lot of the assists coming from Frenchie, but there, it's a bit of a different story as now we head into game number 4. LVC looking to close out the series. Now game number 4. When we see Michigan State force a game 5 as again, tempo 50ing 2 LVC players Actually, not 50, sorry. He didn't 50 Samus there at all. And he also didn't 50 Bichette's. He just simply dunked it straight on the head of Bichette's. And for the past 3 games, Michigan State has had a 1-0 lead, but they only managed to win 1 of them. I say past 3, I think it's only past 2. Apologies for that. Past 2 games, they've had a 1-0 lead, and they are currently sitting at 1-1 in those games. Bichette's almost gets a chance to even it up very quickly. That's going to be a bump from Samus that keeps that ball out of harm's way. Now Bichette's trying to send it out mid for himself, but he runs out of boost. Tempo sending it to the corner to Brandini. No passing lane really done. That's a counter. That's actually just in the net. Samus going to take advantage of the forward position from Michigan State. Brandini kind of getting the assist there. Silent was pushed up a bit too far, and honestly, I don't even think that's mostly on Silent, to be fair, as Brandini just kind of handed that one to Samus. As you can see there, Silent was carrying that one, looked for the ground pinch, but ultimately it was Bichette's all the way back there. Brandini, again, ball sent away. As Silent actually just gives Tempo the best opportunity and has a chance to shoot, but won't take it very well. And here comes Brandini with another shot. Bichette's, though, waiting for the save, and that shot, though, will not be. Silent from the corner. 54, but that looked like 80. That is a great shot from Silent. Hits off the top right of the crossbar and somehow banks on in. That is a great shot there from Silent. He's been the key for this Michigan State side. It feels like he has really been the one controlling the offense from this Michigan State team. Bichette's now actually gets a small pinch there with Samus, but there really wasn't any power on either side. Now a shot from Brandini, and that's another goal. Michigan State in a great spot to force a Game 5. And Frenchie cannot get enough power on that save, and LVC again just kind of handing some of these possessions to Michigan State. We're seeing a lot of big touches that shouldn't be happening. Bichette's now downfield. We'll have to wait for Samus's touch, though. It's Brandini again sending it out. LVC not really doing a lot of controlling of the ball here, and that's kind of what's costing them right now. As again, we're seeing a lot of plays just for a singular player. Frenchie, though, looking to send this one out to Bichette's, and he's done just that, but can't connect quite on it, and Samus ends up pushing up too far, I guess, there. And this is almost guaranteed a Game 5 at this point, pending a disaster. And I think Frenchie may have gotten an extra touch on the ball there. Lebanon Valley have just struggled to get anything going here. That's a demo in from the side of Michigan State. Frenchie also had one there. Now, Tempo tried to carry it out, but LVC maybe getting a chance here. Bichette's just trying to go for whatever he can, but doesn't have anything there. Frenchie sends it out to the corner. Tempo 50s it. And Michigan State doing a great job of pressuring LVC right now. They're getting shut down pretty easily at the moment. Brandini gets demoed, and we also see a demo coming onto Samus, so Bichette's forced to cut in that position. It's a bit of a weird commit from Michigan State. I don't think that was intentional. But as long as they keep playing the time here, I mean, there's only 2 minutes on the clock, and LVC are still down by 3 goals. It's looking like we are going to see a Game 5. As that's going to be another one on the board. Tempo just continuing to add insult to injury. LVC look very sluggish here tonight. That one hits 74 miles an hour. 5-1 Michigan State, putting on a clinic in Game 4. Tempo trying to send this one out to Silent, doesn't get it there. So now LVC might have a chance to counter. Samus ready to go for that one. Demo on the goal line, but no one able to get a shot on target for Lebanon Valley as both players just didn't get a chance to shoot. Frenchie and Bichettes were down on the goal line, but there's no one in position to take the ball from Samus to get a shot on target. And again, they are down by 4, so they would have had to still have an incredible comeback, and that could have been where it started. But now with just a minute, I don't think this one's really going to happen if you are Lebanon Valley. Especially when you're missing doubles like that from Frenchie. Not something you see very often. That shot from Bichettes gets saved once more. Brandini tries to pinch it off the ground, I think, there, but will just go wide left. LVC now sending it away once again. 50 there in the midfield. Samus looking to get his own touch and will get met by Brandini. And that one also counts as a save. I didn't even think that was on target, but it was. At this point, we're seeing actually Samus gets there, but he has no boost. He can't make anything happen. He has to force Brandini's hand, and Bichettes will be the one to capitalize. But with just 16 on the clock, you need about 3 kickoff goals in the span of a couple seconds to make this happen. So it's all but likely over, at least in terms of game number 4. We will see that series finale in game 5. Bichettes looking to at least make it look more respectable on the scoreboard, but that won't happen, at least in that possession, because that's another shot on target, won't go. And we are now going to be headed to a game number 5. LVC trying to keep this one up, and they already know what's happened when they've kept the ball up in the other opposing team's half with 0 seconds, so I'm not really sure why they've kept it up here, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter, at least here, because they were already going to lose, but still. Either way, Michigan State forcing a game 5 in a result that I'd imagine not a lot of people were probably expecting. Taking a look here at the stats, 9 demos from Frenchie in that game. That is absurd from Frenchie. But it certainly was just not enough. You can see Sam's had 2 and Bichettes had 1 of his own. Even shot-wise, they outshot the side of Michigan State pretty heavily. Bichettes and Samus both with 6 shots apiece. And it ultimately will not mean a single thing. As Bichettes and Samus also the ones with goals in that game. Now into the pivotal game 5. Obviously cannot afford to lose another game, another series, and that's a great way to start your game 5. Samus putting one on with the first 2 seconds, and that's just simply, I'm faster from Frenchie. Sets it up for Samus perfectly. And now obviously looking to ramp up the pace, and that's exactly what they need to do this entire series. They could have probably had this one in a 3-0 low-key if they would have looked to play at the speed that they had to for series like against GMU and against the side of LCU. I think they very well could have 3-0'd in this series, but again, Michigan State JV putting up a really big fight. It is 2-0 though for Lebanon Valley now, and you're seeing that ramp up in pacing is really what's killing the side of Michigan State. As Samus looking for another kickoff goal, but doesn't get it. And that's a booming clear from Bichettes. That thing was sent all the way down to Tokyo if it could have been. Tempo just trying to see if they can get one back here. It feels like the game has just started, and it kind of just has, but it's already 2-0 for Lebanon Valley. Silent is up there, but again contested. Bichettes gets demoed, but not before he sends the ball all the way to that blue half. As Brandini gets bumped out of the way, it's a big bump. Now passed into the midfield from Frenchie, but not a lot on that one, and not a lot of players in the direct vicinity of it either. Silent trying to send this one out to Brandini's shot, but Frenchie reads it again. good reads in this series from Frenchie. He's been seeing a lot of these passes as now Bichette has a chance to send this one up to Samus for the double pass play, but won't go. Shot is a bit off target. It's now Michigan State looking for one of those types of plays of their own. It will get countered very quickly, and now here comes Samus off the ceiling. Almost gets the read from that defensive player. That would have been disgusting from Samus. As now he looks for the double, isn't there. Bichette, though, has the follow shot, though, gets blocked. Saved from Silent. Tempo now looking for a second touch, doesn't get it. Brandini sending it out to Silent. This man has been the offense for this Michigan State squad so far. Can they do it once again? Bump in from Tempo, not gonna go. Samus has a chance to shoot, but again, not quite on target. That one will be short though. As this one gets sent as a floater from Bichette. Tried to set one of his teammates up, but again, no one there. Samus at least getting a bump, so it gives Frenchie some time on the ball. And now LVC is being relentless with this pressure, and that's exactly what's going to continue to give them goals, and that's what's going to give them a victory here in Game 5, although Samus bumping his own teammate off the ball. Just 2 minutes on the clock. LVC has wasted so much time in this Michigan State half as Frenchie looks to send it down to Samus. Shot is on target, and there's the pass, there's the goal. And this is the more characteristic Lebanon Valley. You can see a good pass down to Samus. Neither of those players getting a save there, top right bins. We're just 2 minutes on the clock. LVC should be able to close out the series, and that's almost another goal for Samus, but we'll just have to go for a demo, settle for that one, as Tempo looking to carry the ball into the LVC half. Bichette gets a bump and tries to get possession, actually just leaves it for Samus. Assuming Samus caught him off there. It looked like Bichette was in a very good spot, but decided to leave it last second. Flick over top of one, pass down from two, and that's gonna be a third. Silent doesn't quite hit the target. Tempoed out of position. Shot from Brandini does go though. And Michigan State have a chance. A minute 30 on the clock, just 90 seconds to make the comeback possible. And that one's going to be a big whiff from Tempo. Open net, Bichette will take advantage. And LVC getting that one back very, very quickly. All starts with that, or I say all starts. That was a single play. Tempo, unfortunately, with the whiff, and that's going to be the goal for LVC. Doesn't get much easier than that. Frenchie also getting the assist, as that, of course, was not touched by Tempo. Tempo's going to send that one back to Silent. That's a booming touch. That's right to Brandini. Shot on target. That's a phenomenal looking play, but might be even a better save there from LVC. So it's going to be Samus that gets that one. Now LVC looking for their own passing play. Don't get much out of it though. It's sent down to Tempo, over to Brandini again, but LVC are reading these passes very, very well and reacting very well as two. But Silent does bring it back within two. Now a 4-2 scoreline. But they don't have a lot of time to make this up. Just 47 seconds to at least force an overtime. .50 there. Frenchie gets a big touch. Gets contested, but ultimately LVC are still in possession, still looking for more goals, and Samus will take the double. Bichette with a very good pass there to Samus as well, as Tempo just can't get around that one in time. Just 34 seconds left. That may have just been the dagger on the series, as Brandini just doesn't have a lot left. Tempo has Brandini right next door, but will not take the shot, not take the pass, and will not get the shot off in time. And this is going to be a Lebanon Valley series. They are going to wrap this one up. It got a bit scary there, especially with how game number 4 went. But ultimately, LVC will prevail. In another 5-2 scoreline, but this time it will go the way of LVC. No goal's going to go through, and that will do it. LVC take the series in a 3-2 fashion, closing out game 5 there with a big 5-2 scoreline. As you can see the final stats, 6 demos in from Frenchie, a big demo-heavy series from him. But that is going to do it for, let me transition back real quick. That is going to do it for us for the next 5 minutes. What we're going to do is we're going to turn off the stream real quick. We have LVC and Rainbow Six gearing up for their match against Robert Morris University in about 15 minutes. That series is scheduled to start at 8 p.m. So we're going to turn the stream off so we can turn delay on. And then once we turn delay on, we will turn the stream back on at 7:50. So be prepared in just a few minutes as we will toss this one over to a couple five-ish minute break, and then we'll be right back with the rest of the night, which we will have LVC Rainbow Six taking on the side of Robert Morris. We'll catch you guys in just a little bit.